Hello and welcome back to another episode of A Little Bit Unglamorous. We are truly a little unglamorous today. If you are watching the video, you can see the background is a little chaotic. I'm in the midst of packing and it's going. So if you tuned into last week's episode, you saw I was live from Phoenix, Arizona, and it was so fun going over all of the celebrity brand endorsements of the past. I had so much fun. I had to do 2 full episodes on it, but back from vacation mode and getting ready to go into vacation mode round 2. So I'm in my travel girly era right now and I'm kind of living for it. So I am not quite sure if I'm gonna be over my luggage limit, but we're gonna find out. I keep finding more things that I want to bring and I'm a little worried. I'm not going to lie because I'm a bit of an overpacker. I don't think that's a bad thing, but you need an outfit for every occasion, right? I mean, hello. So I just got back from Phoenix, drinking pina coladas at the pool every day, and it was amazing. And now I'm back to the real world for just a few days before I get to go on vacation again. I feel so excited. I've never been to Hawaii before, so I've been spending the last few days kind of getting everything ready for that, getting everything packed, and I actually don't think I've been on a plane ride that long. Maybe over a decade ago, one time I went to New Orleans, but other than that, I don't think that I haven't been on a plane ride in a very long time. So I'm kind of excited for that. I was preparing books and things of that nature that I wanted to do on the plane trip, and I kind of repurposed my iPad, which I conveniently have right here. It's the original iPad mini, and as you know, I used to use it for my podcast show notes so I could have my notes right in front of me, and for whatever reason the notes app decided it didn't want to sync anymore, so it's kind of like a glorified Roku remote. Netflix works on it, and then I just recently discovered that I can put books on it, so that's what we're using it for now. It's like a glorified repurposed Kindle. It has a new third life, and so the first book that I downloaded was Britney Spears' new book, which just came out today. I'm trying not to read any spoilers because I really want to save it for the plane ride and just read it all in one go, and I'm kind of disappointed that she didn't decide to do the audio narration. I think she read the foreword and then someone else read the book. So, but I'm excited to kind of get back into reading. I've always loved it, but for some reason just sitting down, getting there and starting reading is really hard for me. So when I'm on a plane, it's like the perfect time because I have nothing else to do, nothing else to distract me. So that's going to be my plane book. And then I also downloaded an audio book. I really enjoy audio memoirs, autobiographies, especially when they're narrated by the author. And I've really been wanting to listen to Holly Madison's Down the Rabbit Hole memoir about her time at the Playboy Mansion for a really long time. It's been quite a while since it came out, but I didn't realize that audiobooks are actually kind of expensive. They're not much cheaper than the hardback version, but I really like to listen to them kind of like a podcast or if I'm in the shower or something. And I think I mentioned before, I really enjoyed listening to the late Naya Rivera's audio book for her memoir, and it was just really cool to listen to it being narrated by her and then listen to her life story. I didn't know about it at all, and I just kind of have really been into that. We're not sponsored by Audible, but maybe one day. We're not going to give them too much free endorsement, but I kind of thought that their what do you call it, their subscription was a little bit expensive. But if you think about it, I think they let you keep one audiobook per month, and it's like $14 a month or something like that, which seems pretty decent actually if you think about it. So maybe one day in the future I will do that, but for now I just took advantage of their free audio download. So thank you, Audible. And I'm going to be listening to Holly Madison's book and then reading Britney Spears' book, so I'm really excited for that. I can't believe Halloween is already a week from today. I have no Halloween costume. I feel like everything has just gone by so quickly. I've been looking forward to this time for the last few months. I've been preparing for it nonstop, and now all of a sudden it's happening all at once. And I'm really glad I kind of tried to prepare myself for everything. Like before I got back from my trip from Arizona, I did a deep clean of my place and I got ready for the next trip, so that way when I came home I wouldn't be so overwhelmed. And I'm so happy I did that. So it's all finally coming together, and I haven't even thought about Halloween. I was so bummed because last year my boyfriend and I had such a good idea, or was it last year or the year before? He's always been out of town for that holiday, I feel like for the last 2 years, but I was still blonde, so it must have been 2 years ago. But we really wanted to be from The Sandlot, Wendy Peppercorn and the nerdy boy with the glasses. So that famous scene where she's sitting by the pool and she's wearing the red bikini and she's got a red lip and she's just looking all cute and fabulous, and he's the nerdy boy that pretends to drown so he can kiss her. I thought that was such a solid idea. He thought of it too, and we didn't get to execute it, but now I'm not blonde anymore, so it kind of wouldn't really make sense. I'm not really sure of a good couples costume. He's down for the couples costume, which is so fun, but I can't think of anything like niche but hilarious with the brunette hair. So maybe we're gonna throw something together last minute. I don't know, but I'll have to think about that next, I think. I'm kind of living for my hair right now. It's a bit squashed down by the headphones, but I washed it fresh the other day, and as my girlies know, you feel like a new woman when you wash your hair and you give yourself a blowout, and I'm ready to go. And I feel like I've been on this hair growth journey for like 3 years now, because when I was blonde, I made all my hair fall out by bleaching the ever-living God out of it. And then deciding it was a great idea during COVID to do it myself, which I can collectively hear the judgment, feel it through the screen right now. So it was my own doing. And the other day I was actually thinking my hair is finally getting healthy again, and it's finally almost a length that I can stop wearing hair extensions, which is crazy. So note to future self, if you ever want to go platinum again, please listen to me right now in this moment and do not do it. Don't do it. You'll be very sad, you'll cry, and you'll regret it. So I saw this TikTok trend that's really popular right now. It has been for a little bit actually, and it's this trend where women are asking their boyfriends or men in their life, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And they're all giving, there must be in on the joke, because they're giving crazy answers like, oh, at least once per day. Love, do you think about the Roman Empire? Because I feel like the answer is no, but it just became this huge thing. And then I saw another TikTok in relation to it about this woman's version of her Roman Empire. So I felt like in today's episode, I'm going to share with you my personal Roman Empire. And it won't be too hard to guess, but it is 2000s pop culture. I have a whole freaking podcast dedicated to it, basically. But my Roman Empire encompasses, but not limited to, all of the following things, which I'm pretty sure I've spoken about before, but I digress. So my Roman Empire is the Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake breakup, They were the iconic couple of the 2000s, and their breakup pains me to this day. Even with all of the new news coming out about them, that was the top tier, what everybody wanted. When they showed up in their matching denim outfits, I think it was the MTV Music Awards, Britney had the denim dress and he had like the denim cowboy hat and denim vest. My Roman Empire is the paparazzi era and how chaotic and crazy it was. Britney Spears crying in a restaurant with her newborn son while the paparazzi were swarming her. The Paris Hilton party girl era lives in my mind rent-free. Who remembers that picture of her, Lindsay Lohan, and Britney Spears, and they're all crammed into Paris's little two-seater car? That's an iconic moment. Paris Hilton's Juicy Couture tracksuits. I wanted to be her. I still wear my Juicy Couture tracksuit to this day. In fact, I don't think I even owned one until at least well after that hype had already ended. So it's still fine in my mind to wear the Juicy everything. My Roman Empire is Bennifer, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez in the 2000s, and the fact that they got together again in 2020 and are now married is full circle for me. That is my bingo card wish list that I did not expect to happen, but I love it. I can't wait for Jennifer's. She's supposed to be releasing a new album, but she announced it like a year ago. In the height of the 2000s, she had a album, and I don't know if it's her best grossing album of all time. I'm hesitant to say, but it's the only album that I ever owned and lived and died by. But she had a song called Dear Ben, and it's about Ben Affleck, and she's coming out with the 10-year anniversary of it, I believe, and it's called This Is Me Now, and she has another song about Ben, and I just loved those R&B vibes. It was very easy listening. My Roman Empire is 2000s diet culture and how everyone wanted to be Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, how everyone called Jessica Simpson fat when she was so thin. Eminem made an entire music video about her and hired Trisha Paytas to be fat Britney Spears, to be fat Jessica Simpson, and it's so funny because now I love Trisha Paytas. She's one of my favorite online personalities ever. Second, she looked freaking amazing in that music video too. I think about Anna Nicole Smith and how she was ridiculed by Howard Stern for her weight gain. And I believe she was asked to actually get on a scale so he could guess her weight. And then I think about her being endorsed by Trim Spa and losing so much weight, and then her tragic death. I think about Holly Madison and Hugh Hefner and how crazy that was, and how in everyone's mind in 2007, everyone wanted to be one of the Playboy girlfriends, and it was just accepted, and everyone thought they had the greatest, most amazing life, and him and Holly were meant to be together. They were together for like 7 years, and all of a sudden she left because he never wanted to get married again, and he turned around and married Crystal Hefner almost what felt like immediately after. I don't think it was immediately after, but I was personally appalled for Holly. But now listening to all of their stories years and years later, it's so crazy. Platform shoes, I am so excited that they're making a resurgence again. I know my mom is too because she loves the little platform sandals, but platform Uggs, I am here for it. I'm all about being a little bit taller, little lip gloss tubes that get everywhere, the little squeezy tubes. I miss the era where blinging everything was just accepted and the thing to do. The fake Chanel bags were all the rage at the mall. And going to the mall was your best pastime, and going to the movie theater. And then when it hit 9 o'clock, since you weren't 21, they hurtled everybody into this little corner that you have to stand in waiting for your parents to come pick you up. I think about MySpace. The MySpace era is truly unmatched in social media, and all of those things just I have such fond memories of, and that's my Roman Empire, and I think about it nearly every day, clearly, because I have a whole podcast dedicated to 2000s nostalgia and celebrity gossip, and I am so happy that Britney Spears is releasing her book, and I cannot wait to read it cover to cover immediately on Thursday, so one day after you listen to this podcast. Taylor Swift is also releasing 1989 Taylor's version on Friday. How crazy is that? I am so excited. It's my current obsession. You know, I love everything Taylor. I love all of the re-recordings and the merch, and I love all the little Swiftie fan theories, and I'm really excited for this new album to come out. I'm more so excited for the preceding one, Reputation, and I'm all about the theories of when that's going to be announced as well. But I try to reel it in my real life so my friends still think I'm somewhat normal, but I'm here for you, internet Swifties, and I want to thank you for being so chaotic online, because we can all come together and appreciate our love for her vault track called Slut, and just be obsessed over overpriced merchandise that ships 4 months after we buy it, and I wouldn't want to be a part of any other fandom. So I don't want to drop too many spoilers for the Britney Spears book. I've actually been actively not trying to find them, but I saw one that I thought was hilarious, and it's well out there, so I'm just gonna repeat it because it it makes me laugh a great deal. So in Britney's new excerpt for her book, she outs Justin Timberlake and the first time they had sex and how small his penis is. And I can't help but think that is some like grand karma for Justin Timberlake, because he just went on this press like campaign after they broke up, and she never said a word about anything, and now all of this stuff is coming out about their relationship in that era, and I just thought that that was a really funny thing for her to add into that book. Oh, I forgot one of my other speaking of Britney Spears, I forgot my other Roman Empire moment was Diane Sawyer making her cry on live TV, and people wonder why she doesn't want to do any press on her new book. Y'all don't deserve her, first of all. I know Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber were in the news a lot, not recently, but a while ago when Hailey had her whole Road Beauty launch, and there was photos of them coming out. She looked phenomenal in her little mini dress, and people were scrutinizing the outfit he wore, which I can see why. He was wearing like sweats and a hoodie that looked like it was tied under his chin, and like some Crocs. He looked like he did not care at this very important event of hers, arguably one of the most important in her career, and it just came across really embarrassing for her, and embarrassing, not even her, she shouldn't be embarrassed, he should be embarrassed for doing that at her moment, at her event. But anyway, the media loves to speculate when people are going to have babies, and they look at photos of just somebody who ate a large meal and say, oh, look at her baby bump, which, oh my god, don't even get me started on that. But Hailey Bieber finally made a comment addressing pregnancy rumors, because I know for a while like the media was really spinning on that, and she was quoted saying, "Trust me, when that happens, you, as the internet, will be the absolute last to know." Honestly, that whole love triangle was so strange, and I kind of feel really bad for Hailey and the hate train she got just for, you know, dating somebody and marrying them. So I cannot believe it's already, it's about 5 o'clock my time, and I just finished coffee not too long ago, if that tells you any like sort of how today is going for me. I feel like in all of my spare time I've just been slothing around. I mean, when I'm not world traveling. I've just been slothing around, and during my slothing I've been watching Netflix, and as we all know, I love Love is Blind. And there's a new season out. I've lost track of the seasons. I think it's season 5, which is crazy. And I, of course, always get sucked into it. I will wait until there's a moment when I can just binge watch the entire show. And I haven't done that yet, but I have watched a few episodes, and I must admit, now that I'm there's 5 seasons of this one, but then they had a couple spin-offs too. So now that we're 7 seasons of this show in, I've decided that the pod, while they're dating in the little pods, that part's boring. So I don't really like to watch that part. I'll just put it on the background, and then once they actually pick their partners and decide if they're going to marry them, then I tune in, because I want to know what's going on. I want to know who actually says yes, who meets the person they're with, and they decide absolutely not. And this season, spoiler alert, sorry, I haven't seen all of the episodes, but I need to comment on some of the couples, because as always, it's always the most ridiculous, right? That's why we're reeled into these shows. That's why I'm reeled into them. But only 3 couples, I believe, got engaged this season. So I can't see the season lasting too long, but they had a lot of people dating in the pods, because I was going back through the articles to see all of the people, and there were so many of them, but I want to talk about 4 couples in particular. So one of them didn't get engaged or make the cut, but they're pretty notable, and it was Johnny and Chris. So Johnny, she was dating Chris in the pods, and he was her number 2 choice. She ends up breaking it off with him to prove her love to this other guy, who then the very same day, maybe not, I think it was the next day, turns around and breaks up with her. And it was just, I felt so bad for her, because how are you supposed to know who is the one when you've dated them for a week and you've never even met them? So she tries to go back to the first guy, and he ultimately says, you know what, no, which I don't blame him. Nobody wants to be with somebody that you're their number 2 choice. Although one of the couples from last season did actually get married after the guy got engaged to somebody else, which, that sucks, right? I wouldn't want that to be my story. You always say no if you're the number 2, okay? Always say no. Anyway, so Uche ultimately is dating this woman called Aaliyah, and technically I guess they don't get engaged either, but Uche was the one who broke it off with Johnny, and he picked someone else. So I thought this was odd, because one of his ex coincidentally was also on the show, which, what are the odds of that? So he's talking to this girl, and he finds out on one of his dates, the woman's like, oh, that voice sounds really familiar, and he has a very distinctive name. So they realize that they are exes on the show, and coincidentally, the new girl that he's talking to, that he wants to get engaged to, bonded with that girl in the house, unknowing that that girl was his ex-girlfriend. And I can't think of a greater nightmare, and apparently she couldn't either, because ultimately she was like, I'm not signing up for this. In my real life, I would never date a friend's ex. I would never have them around. And I'm sure the show made it out to be, they dramatize things, but they made it out that this woman was just telling her everything, way too much information, and the girl was so mad she ultimately just left the show, didn't say anything. Ironically, that girl ends up getting engaged to someone else. So her name is Lydia, and she gets engaged to this man named Milton, and I believe she's 31. She is a very outgoing, I believe, Latino woman, and he's this tall, very tall, 6'7", 24-year-old man. So there's a very distinctive age difference, and honestly, I'm not really that committed into their story. It's not that interesting thus far, I guess, but I kind of feel like that they won't make it. I don't know why, I just don't. But the last couple I want to talk about, and most importantly, is Taylor and JP. So Taylor was this beautiful, I believe she was a teacher in real life, but she's this blonde, bombshell, gorgeous girl. JP, I believe he is a firefighter, and he's like the typical quiet, stereotypical quiet guy. And you know what? Now that I think of it, it reminds me of the very first season of The Bachelorette, back when I watched it. And I think the first season is the one I only remember, and it's when Trisha and Ryan won the show, and they are still married to this day. That's my Roman Empire too. They are still married to this day, and I think that was back in 2001 or something. But anyway, they met on a freaking game show, and he like professed his love to her, and they got married, and they're so freaking happy. But this is them, but the opposite, like most worst version of them, because they bond in the pods and they meet, and she's freaking gorgeous, and immediately this guy is so quiet, and she's like, why are you so quiet? Like, I can't carry our conversations for the rest of our life, which I get. You know, you want somebody who's going to bounce ideas off of you and, you know, not just be a wet blanket the whole time. But I thought there was hope for them. But he lost me really fast when she pushed, like, okay, what changed from the pods to now in real life? Like, why are you so quiet? Like, I can get being nervous meeting somebody new, especially somebody gorgeous. Like, she was gorgeous, kind of out of his league, arguably. But he lost me and probably the rest of the world when he tells her that the reason why his demeanor changed is because the second he met her, she was wearing too much makeup. It looked fake. It was caked on all over his jacket. This woman is gorgeous. She looked amazing. And the whole time while they were, I guess they take him off to vacation in Mexico after they get engaged or whatever, she wasn't wearing makeup or anything like that. He, instead of being like, oh, you look so beautiful without makeup, he spun it and said, oh, you look so much better like this. Like, I hate your fake look and your caked up face. And every woman in America just collectively was like, are you kidding me right now? What is wrong with you? Anyway, so he messed that up real bad. No words. No words. Another celebrity that we all know and love, and to be honest, I kind of slept on her in the 2000s, is Gwen Stefani. So Rock Steady was every kid's rock anthem growing up. She was known for her distinctive style, and she's had platinum blonde hair for over 2 decades now, and she never, and I want to know how she does it, she never has any roots. Google it. I mean, she was brunette for like a very short time, I believe. She's been straight platinum blonde for the last 20 years, and I need to know what the secret is. The secret is money and paying your hair person to be there like round the clock. But so Gwen Stefani Gwen Stefani gets a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and she is wearing the cutest outfit to the event. I love her style. I love how the second she met Blake Shelton, she just went full on yeehaw, and like she was wearing cowgirl boots and this cute high-low wedding dress to their wedding, and her famous red lip. And I think it's so adorable that they have a hit country song together. And at her Hollywood Star Walk of Fame, she was in full attire for the occasion. She was wearing this silver dress with stars all over it because it's a Hollywood star, get it? I've always loved her style because it's so over the top, but in the best way, and I kind of like to think that my style is similar to that. And I must admit, when they first started dating, they met on The Voice, and they were dating during The Voice, and I just didn't get on that train, but Blake gave the sweetest speech ever to Gwen, like a tear-jerking one, and it really made me think, like, damn, everybody wants someone that loves them that much. They are the cutest couple, and it's the perfect example of opposites attract, because she is just over the top pop star, dressed up. He's this laid back country guy, and I have no idea what they have in common, but they make it work and they are so cute together. So next week we're taking the show on the road and we're gonna be on destination in Hawaii. So I need to get all of this background together and get my life together. So we're gonna wrap up the episode. I'm gonna give you time to read Britney Spears' new book, give you some time to listen to 1989 Taylor's version, and also watch Love is Blind Season 5, because I need to know what happens in the end. As always, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys next week on A Little Bit Unglamorous. I'm Erica Renee, and bye guys.